everybody, it's the Big Black Hat Man here, and I promised to do a Q&A, and so I'm doing a Q&A with mostly questions from people from That Guy with the Glasses, and I have here to help me today my friend Layne. If you've seen the videos, you've seen him in them. He's my friend in real life, believe it or not. So, and so he will be moderating and asking the questions from various peoples. So, let's get started.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Well, Mark, this first question comes from Fusionator. It says, what is the worst Western you've ever seen?
What is the worst Western I have ever seen? If anybody reads me on That Guy with the Glasses, you might think that it was Paint Your Wagon, because I wrote a whole long deal about how crappy Paint Your Wagon is. But no, because that movie's got redeeming moments. That one's actually bad, but not the worst. The worst is a movie called Zachariah from 1971, which is an acid Western, and it's awful. And I'll try and keep myself brief because I go on and on about how stupid and bad this movie is. And anybody requesting me to review this movie, by the way, I will not do it. I can assure you of that. But to get from the first act to the second act, they tried to use modern music in it with modern instruments, and it makes no sense throughout most of the film. But there's one scene where, from the first act to the second act, they clearly don't know how to transition. So they had Doug Kershaw, a great fiddle player, come out and just literally sing and tell us what's going to happen in the second act. It's so jarringly out of left field. You're just sitting there going, that Doug Kershaw? It's very confusing, and the whole film is like this. So, Zachariah 1971, worst Western I have ever seen. So, thank you.
Alrighty.
Alright.
We'll take a question from Positive Troll.
Okay.
This regards singing cowboys. It says, do you prefer Roy Rogers or Gene Autry?
Do I prefer Roy Rogers or Gene Autry for singing cowboys? I've only watched a handful of their movies, and I'm not a big singing cowboy fan. I mean, I'm kind of up there with Tex Ritter too. He's actually probably as good a singer as both of them. Actually, believe it or not, Tex Ritter was a very good singer too. I do like some of the Sons of the Pioneer stuff, so I guess I'm gonna have to go with Roy Rogers because I like the Sons of the Pioneers.
All right, Roy Rogers for the singing cowboys.
Yeah, Roy Rogers.
How about let's jump over to Movie Fan 12.
Okay.
He says, from Pecos Bill, you said Widowmaker was a jerk. But what do you think would have made him more likable?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is, I did a joint review for Movie Fan 12 for those on That Guy with the Glasses. Those on YouTube don't know what I'm talking about, but that's fine. There's a Disney short called Pecos Bill, and Widowmaker essentially betrays Pecos Bill and gets his Sue sent to the moon, and he did it for selfish reasons. And I guess it goes to what I think about friendship. If you're someone's friend, you shouldn't screw them out of their happiness. He had a woman there, and he just lets her go to the moon because he's a bad friend. That's what it is.
He goes on to ask, and do you think that his shift in character was justified or not?
I see. Well, it's a short, so he's not really a lot of establishment. I guess he could have been a jerk the whole time secretly. I don't know. Maybe he was always a jerk.
All right.
Yeah, I'm tempted to use a more profane word. I'm glad I didn't.
Let's go back to the Fusionator.
Okay.
It says, what is it that makes you want to review movies? And we had kind of the same question from Dark Jack, so I guess we can answer two questions at once. So, what makes you want to review movies?
Well, so Fusionator and Dark Jack want to know why I review movies. And, I don't know. You know, when I was a kid, we lived on a farm, and I didn't really see a lot of movies, believe it or not. It was hard to rent them. It was hard to go to the theater. You know, it was literally 40 miles to the nearest theater when I was a kid. So when I got to college, I just started watching movies. Literally, that's what we spent, me and a good friend of mine, all our spare time doing. And I've just really got into it. I've read books over the years, and I thought, you know, I should apply this knowledge somewhere. And this is kind of what I came up with. And I picked westerns as my bailiwick because I didn't see anybody else doing it, and I felt like I knew a fair share about them. So, hope that answers the question.
All right. That kind of leads into another question by Dark Jack. It says,
okay,
do you just enjoy westerns on film, or do you enjoy the western genre and other types, such as in novels or radio?
Oh, so do I like westerns beyond western film? Okay. Yeah, I like some Louis L'Amour books. I've read some Louis L'Amour. I recently read an Elmer Kelton. I've read both two of John Wayne's more famous movies, The Shootist and True Grit. I've read the books based on those. I've dabbled a little bit in the radios, and mostly it's the movies, but I have dabbled in other places. So yeah.
I guess, from our online with our radio, where we do the radio mock-up, it just go to show that you have some interest in some other other versions of the Western as well. Mm-hmm. That, and because it's really funny. Check it out.
He's just promoting himself.
Here's an interesting question, and this is more to do with characters and the people that play them. From Positive Troll, he says, who do you think had the quicker draw? John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, Yul Brynner, Alan Ladd, Jack Palance, Eli Wallach, Lee Van Cleef, or Lee Marvin? That's a big list.
That's a big list. Actually, there's a story about Lee Van Cleef on the set of, he's in the movie The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and supposedly he told John Wayne, I can draw before you can, put your hands together. And John Wayne said, well, prove it, because, somebody makes a claim like that, you want to make him prove it. So he gets out there with his, his prop gun and everything, he does it. He gets his gun up and through John Wayne's hands before he puts them together. And when he said, well, you have to slow down for this, old man, they had a big laugh about it, because, it was just a movie, and they all knew it was just a movie. But supposedly Lee Van Cleef was extremely fast. There's another funny story about Eli Wallach. When he went to do The Magnificent Seven, he plays the villain in that, I forget the name of the character now. Way to go. Anyway, he was so nervous because he'd never been in a Western, he'd never handled a gun, he'd never ridden a horse. If you watch the movie, the other guys riding with him are constantly stopping his horse and helping him get going and things. And when he puts away his gun, you watch him, he sits there and he watches himself put it away every single time because he was so afraid of dropping it looking like a fool because he didn't know how to handle it either one. So, but I'll go with Van Cleef because of the story, and it's definitely not Eli Wallach. So there you go.
Kind of two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Since I'm here, I'm going to ask a question that I have. It says, I'd like to know, which Western actor do you think was probably most like a real-life cowboy?
So, like cowboys, okay.
I mean, what probably was the most accurate portrayal of a cowboy, or who could have walked off a set right onto a ranch?
Right onto a ranch. Which, being where we live, we know a lot of real cowboys. Neither one of us are it, but we do know real ones.
Or guys who think they are.
Yeah, guys who think they are, yeah. We know some, go Ropers, go Ropers! Well, Tom Mix was a rodeo champion and had really owned a ranch, so clearly, William S. Hart had done real cowboy work. But I'd say for modern people that would be remembered a little bit better, because those guys are really early in the genre, and so it's not surprising that they're straight off the ranch onto the set. But I don't know how many people have seen Randolph Scott films, because I think they're kind of rare now, which is unfortunate. He had the real lanky, loping style and looked very natural on a horse, and he really did look like a saddle bum. I mean, really did look like he stepped right off the ranch. I always thought Randolph Scott looked like a real cowboy.
Okay, well, thanks. We're going to go back to Dark Jack.
Okay.
He asks, why do you think that there aren't as many Westerns made anymore?
Why aren't there many? Well, just a general decline in the genre, because, I mean, to be honest with you, I think it was just a sort of a popularity boom thing, especially before and after World War II, where, it was just a really easy genre to do. And I think now, they've looked at other things. The rural part of the country is not as prevalent anymore. There's not as many real cowboys. I've had people tell me it's a dead genre. I don't think that's the case. I think it's a dormant genre, And so I don't think we'll ever get as many Westerns because there's not quite the same connection to them that were. But we'll always get a few, so.
Okay.